So, for instance, the Dawoodi Bora case that has become quite talked about in recent weeks with the arrest of the doctor, the female doctor, Dr. Nargawala, I believe, in Michigan. Their community, their Shiite Muslim, quiet community here in the United States, their community performs, first of all, they perform circumcision on boys. We'll get to that in a moment. And they perform type 1A circumcision, which is a nick right. of the prepuce, the foreskin of the clitoris.
Right. That is not actually what is illegal as far as I understand. What I understand is the removal of an entire portion of the female sex organ without the consent of the child. Now, you underwent this as an adult. There's a quantum difference between making a decision to do something like that and having that decision made for you that cannot be reversed as a child. That seems to me probably the worst thing you could do a child.
Okay, so back to the case of the Dawoodi Bora doctor who's now
right.
in prison waiting trial. She is accused, she's charged with FGM, mutilating
right.
2 7-year-old girls. She performed NICS type 1A to the clitoral.
Yeah, I don't know that.
But it's really important because what's happened is it is true, and what's happened is that it's the activists that have actually made this, the term female genital mutilation, they've conflated it with all these different practices.
But some of those activists are victims of the practice itself.
Well,
and we've interviewed them on this set, and they have said this has affected my life and my happiness and my ability to experience happiness in a profound way, and it's totally barbaric. And I guess I just don't buy the, hey, it's a different culture. Well, so is throwing widows on the pyre, and it's still wrong.
And I absolutely agree with you, Tucker, but there's one thing I want to correct. You said it removes a vital part of the female genital anatomy, all right? And is it okay if I actually say what that part is? Because there's a misconception about what actually, what these surgeries entail. There is no female circumcision procedure that removes the clitoris of a woman. It is absolutely impossible to remove a woman's clitoris without killing her. What is exposed is a tiny fraction of what is actually an extensive organ. That is
I'm going to stop you there, and just before we get too into it, right? Let me just say, would you concede, because there are a lot of women who feel mutilated by this? This is not, this is being led by women.
Sure.
That maybe we should let adults make this decision and not impose it on 6-year-olds. Is that fair?
Well, here's what I think about it. There are a lot of men, right, who have experienced male circumcision, who say that this is mutilation. In fact, in the courtroom, when Dr. Nargawala appeared in court, there were protesters outside. But they weren't anti-FGM
But that's not
protesters.
an argument for female circumcision.
No, what I'm saying is, you're saying to me that there are opponents to female circumcision.
Look, as you know, there's a lot of research. I don't want to get into the circumcision debate on men, but there's research. Okay, well then there's research that shows there are profound medical advantages in that. There's no research that shows there's any medical advantage to female genital mutilation.
First of all, that research is contested. There's a lot of research out there that says, yes, there is harm, there is risk.
Look,
there are over 100 deaths,
that's a separate show.
Deaths each year from
That's
male
a separate show, and I'm open-minded. But what you're doing is not making.
You're saying we're abusing girls.
But that's like saying, we can't ban weed because beer is legal.
No, but listen, you are accepting that it is okay to perform a much more intensive or invasive procedure on boys.
I don't know that I'm accepting that. I'm just saying that this is bad to do to little girls.
I disagree. I think if we accept it in American society that we do remove, or we do remove the foreskin on boys, we do practice genital cutting here in the U.S. on boys, then it should not be impossible to understand that there are cultures, there are societies that practice what certain people are now calling gender-inclusive
I just don't want it in my culture, in my society. I guess that's kind of what it comes down to.
So it's okay to cut boys in your society?
Look, I'm just saying I don't want this, because I think it's awful.
Well, we don't, in our culture, we don't discriminate. We have gender-egalitarian surgeries. We do not discriminate. We don't discriminate.
We're out of time. I feel like we can